Hello, I'm Mark Kozovich. Welcome to W123 World. Why 123 World? I'm going to show you why the W123 is the finest saloon car of the 20th century. Up next. On my last visit to the Mercedes Benz Museum, I spoke to the senior manager of the museum, and he explained to me the most sought after classic Mercedes Benz now that they receive more inquiries about than any other car is the T-Series estate car type W123. Today we've got three superb examples to show you the differences between them.
Hi, I'm Alex from W123 World. Today we're going to highlight some of the key differences between an S123 and a W123. This particular car behind me is a China Blue 280 TE from South Africa. Starting with the rear floor pan of the car, we'll highlight a couple of key features which make it so different to a saloon car. Starting with the rear vacuum chamber system, this is stored underneath the rear section of the car, compared to a saloon where it would be stored underneath the rear parcel shelf. The rear tailpipe for the exhaust system is also a completely different design. This being a 280 TE, it has a twin pipe section starting from the middle, which then exits via a one pipe system at the rear. You will see a very different design to the rear exit pipe compared to a saloon car. This is simply so that when people are loading the car, they don't get exhaust fumes or any heat dissipating onto their legs. Next, we are moving on to the fuel tank. This is stored underneath the rear of the car. Compared to a saloon and a coupe, where it would be stored behind the rear seats, this is a very different design also. There are a couple of prone areas on this fuel tank, the neck being the main one. Because of its design, where it comes up to the exit on the side of the car, there's a prone area where it'll pick up dirt and debris and salt from the road. Mercedes rectified this prone area to rust and damage at the time by fitting a factory splash guard to keep away dust and debris and salt from the road. Let's dig in and have a little look further. Moving on to the rear suspension of the S123, there are a couple of key features which will highlight the differences between an S123 and a base W123, not optioned with self-leveling. The first key difference would be the hydraulic rams. These are placed in between the two rear springs and they operate via the self-leveling pump on the front of the engine. This sends a feed of self-leveling fluid to the rear of the car. This is then moved to the self-leveling control unit, which then regulates the amount of flow. The self-leveling control unit has a torsion bar attached to the anti-roll bar at the rear. This is used so when the car takes up load, like this, the self-leveling then will pivot the car to its natural ride height. The next key feature would be the nitrogen spheres. These are used as a back pressure system against the hydraulic ram. They often need to be changed and replaced due to wear and no longer holding pressure. So there we have it. We have now gone through all of the key features on the S123 that makes it so different to a normal W123. Now this car is an absolute pristine example. It was originally shipped into us from South Africa, where it was a rust-free, very well cared for example already, and now we've taken it that step further back to factory fresh. We are now pleased to offer this China Blue 280 TE for sale in conjunction with Walt Motor Company based in Newbury. This particular car is one of the finest examples and has even been exhibitioned at Goodwood Festival of Speed 2023. Originally supplied to South Africa, this vehicle boasts factory air conditioning, which was an extreme rarity in the UK market. Another key feature showing the high specification of this car is the optional 7-seat configuration. This 280 TE really does take the centre stage everywhere it goes. If you would like to find out more details, please send inquiries to alex@w123world.com.
We're at Worth Swansea, our fastening and adhesive suppliers, to show just how much load capacity the S123 really has, which still rivals many more modern vehicles. We're here in the glorious sunshine today on the Gower coast. I'm with Mr. Martin Buckley, the UK's leading motoring correspondent, and we're going to feature the 280T estate car behind us, which is a petrol green 1985 model. Now, different to what you've had over the years?
No, a little bit cleaner than some of the ones I've had, yeah. But most of the ones I had were 280s, funnily enough, for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, I think it suited itself really. The six-cylinder engine gave it that big touring ability, which maybe the four cylinders didn't have. You know.
Well, this one's got an amazing spec on it, hasn't it?
Yeah,
it's fully loaded, literally.
It's right. It's a 1985 car, which is the last year of production, and it has almost every factory option. Well, I can't find anything that's not listed for it anyway, and it's obviously a run-out model, and you'll be able to drive it later. You can give it a full spec then, and very expensive when it was new.
Yeah, £24,000.
That's right. Yeah, a huge sum of money back then, and sadly not cheap to restore today. They're back up where they were. You know, they went for a period through the what did you used to call it? Down the doldrums through the food chain.
That's when I had them at the bottom of the food chain. Yeah. I gave £900 for my first one.
Wow!
And it was in quite good condition. It was probably 12 years old, but it was still had loads of life left.
Yeah.
And it was sort of, you know, the first proper grown-up car I'd ever had.
Was it?
I think that was the best way. I felt like a proper person when I had that sort of strange way.
Well, I still get calls from people who remember them then, and they said they can find them. Where are they all gone? You know, they're looking for them, and no, that was 30 years ago.
In your mind, they're still out there, but they're just not, are they? No.
We had 200T, my wife had. She had it about 15 years. It was great. You would have called it the poverty spec.
Poverty spec, yeah. Yeah.
But this one's not. This one is top of the range. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like lots of cars, all of a sudden they go out of fashion. The 123 with all the chrome, it wasn't wanted in the blacked out 80s, is it?
No,
90s.
It looked like a 70s car suddenly, didn't it?
And,
because the Mercedes had moved on to the more aerodynamic.
That's right.
126.
Electronics do everything for you. That's where we are with them now. That they've got no electronics to go wrong, but they're still old, and they still need a lot of time when looking after. They are old, and there's nothing we can do about it. You know, so the components do wear, especially the suspension, and there isn't any electronics to go bad. But what is in it, is aged.
I suspect the electronics were probably, if it had a weak spot, that was probably it, even in the day, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Because it seems to be
I don't know,
even now it's a weak spot, isn't it? On modern things.
That's right. Oh, new stuff. Yeah, you couldn't compare. I mean, the models that came after this, like the 124 and 210, they almost died quickly. Those cars.
Yeah, the wiring looms.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as they went into the electronics fault department, they just crushed. Even though the car was probably still drivable.
Yeah, that was what put. It wasn't rust that killed them off. It was electronic problems that just needed a lot of labour to sort.
That's right. Yeah.
And does the 123 have a plug-in?
No. Well, it's got a diagnostic for tuning the engine, that's all. That was very advanced in this day. And it's got a number of features, obviously electronic ignition on it. But, I can't think on one hand in 40 years of them, how many times that electronic ignition has gone faulty. It's an ECU pack, but it's an aluminium block and it doesn't go bad, Yeah. So they definitely tested that thing to destruction,
Has it got an airflow meter and all that? No. It's because there's different types of that.
Yeah. This is K-Jetronic.
K-Jetronic. L-Jetronic was
A KE was the later version with the electronic engine management, and before that was D-Jetronic, which has got you said that mass meters and with ECU and what was called an ECU in 1970 by Telefunken.
Yeah, that's Funken, yeah. Make you a tally as well.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's a pussycat to drive, that one. I'm
going
to take it for a spin.
Yeah.
Well, Martin, what do you think?
It was an experience fraught with satisfaction.
As long as you enjoyed, that's the main thing. It's a super day down here on the Gold Coast, and what a fantastic example, isn't it?
Yeah.
I honestly don't think there's another one like it.
No, it was beautiful. And all those options on it, and the engine's lovely on it. Fantastic. Makes me want one again.
she's just beautiful. She's a piece of history, engineering. She's my flying carpet. She's my place of solace. She is my happy place when I'm in this car. I used to have Volvos, like old Volvos years ago, 240s, and there came a point where I got to the end of the 240s and I was looking for another one, a replacement, and my original 280 popped up in the ad. She was in the wrong place. She was in the Volvo ads.
All right.
And I was love struck because it was always the car that I'd always wanted as a kid. It was my dream car.
Oh, right.
And I remember looking at her and going, can I have her? And actually my husband said to me, well, why not? Why don't we go and have a look and you upgrade from a Volvo to a Mercedes? And we went, and it was one of those moments. As soon as I saw her, as soon as I sat in her, I was smitten. I had found my dream car.
All right.
And that was it. There was no going back after that.
And you use it for your artwork, carrying large loads and stuff like that? You know?
Yeah, I use it for, she's an amazing, just an amazing bus that kind of puts anything that I want into it. The fact that she's just beautiful. Everything about her just fills me with joy. The sound of the doors when they shut.
And you don't mind the big diesel engine?
I don't mind the big diesel engine. No, I like it.
Dear.
She makes me, the way that she travels, there's something so meditative about being in the car. Normally, if I'm on my own, that's absolute heaven. I'm in the car. I love driving. That's a passion.
Yeah.
And the engine just ticks away. It's like her heartbeat.
Well, they were built to last, don't they? You know, this particular model is extremely rare now. The 300 TD right-hand drive, there's hardly any left now. Yeah. And you must be well known with it. People must give you the wave.
They wave at me, and I love that. I just love it, and I love the fact that I'm also I never take it for granted. You know, if I pull up somewhere and somebody says, "Oh, what a beautiful car! I used to have one, or my father used to have one of those," and I always say, I feel very blessed to have her. I feel very blessed to be the custodian of her.
Oh, great! You know, it's quite a story, and working on them with you and getting them ready for a customer's got a passion. That's always a plus for us. You know, someone loves their cars. Yes. You know, and it is a beautiful thing to own and a pleasure. You know. And
it's great having you, because having the guru of this motor means it does actually not.
We got to stop that.
But that is true. I wouldn't feel as comfortable taking to anywhere else.
Yeah, well, we both got a passion for them, and I said my wife had one. We brought all our children. We got 3 kids, and they all were brought from the hospital. And we had it for 15 years. Yeah. It did its work for us, you know. But sadly, right-hand drive, so few of them survive now, and the diesel ones are even rarer, you know. Yeah. And you've got something really special there, and it's a pleasure to have you here today and in the sun.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here, Mark, as always, coming to sunny Swansea.